What's up, everyone? My name is Gael, and what my tutorial video is going to be on is how to make a song on BandLab. It's super convenient because the app is available on your phone, and what I'm essentially going to do is explain the different components that go into what you could use to compose a song on here. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is go to where it says import file. So basically when you click this, it's going to bring up three options: Apple Music Library, Video Library, Browse Files. And it's completely up to you on which one you want to select. But I personally select Browse Files because that's kind of where I keep the beats that I either download or get sent to me by some of my friends that produce. So I'm going to click that one, and then all your files will come up. I'm going to pick the one in the top left, and it should now, let me mute that because there's going to be feedback. But it should now open up the project that you're going to be working on. Now that you're on this screen, what you're going to want to do is press the plus button under the audio we just added to the project, and a few options are going to come up. Since we're working with recording vocals, we're going to press voice audio. Mute that real quick so there's no feedback. And yeah, basically this is the setup that you're going to have throughout the whole recording process, just adding different sections of vocal audio that you're going to be recording. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up the different vocal sections that I'm going to be using to demonstrate the recording process. So what I did was I added 2 extra vocal sections to the project. It's completely up to you how many you want to add to start off, but I tend to usually only add 3 or 4 vocal sections when I'm recording. Then I might add a few later on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain how you could add presets to each of your vocal sections. And basically a preset is what helps you achieve the autotune sound. So it's completely up to you on whether you want to use autotune or not. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to explain how to turn it on all the way, as well as turn it off completely for people that prefer not to use autotune at all. In order to add a preset to one of your vocal sections, you're going to want to click on any of the ones that you have. So I'll click on this bottom one since it's already selected. And a bunch of presets are going to pop up. So on this screen, you're going to be shown a bunch of presets, and these are all default presets provided to you by BandLab. But a lot of the ones you see towards the top are actually created by users on the platform that you could use, which is super convenient. Then you have the default ones that BandLab gives you. So you could basically pick any one of the presets you see here that they provide you with, whether it be from this row or this row. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use my own personal preset. Should be down here. And I'm just going to click on it to select it. Once you select your preset, it'll show up at the bottom of the screen. So in my case, it says my preset at the bottom. From here, you're going to click the option at the bottom of the screen next to the headphone sign that says auto pitch. And basically this is where you'll be able to toggle the auto tune on and off, pick the key that you want to record in. They have different filters for the presets here, and you could use them if you'd like, but really depends on the type of sound that you're trying to go for. But once you see this dial, you could basically turn it all the way up which it's already set on, or you could turn it all the way down. And that'll basically turn off the auto tune completely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it up all the way since that's what I'm gonna demonstrate the recording with. Once you're done adjusting your auto tune, what you're gonna wanna do is press the headphone sign in the bottom right of the screen. And what this will do is it'll allow you to hear yourself as you're recording. It's not required to turn that on, but I personally like to keep it on because I like to hear myself as I'm recording. But it really comes down to whatever your preference is. Once you're done with that, you're going to want to press the X in the top right, and then you'll be back on the main screen where all the vocal sections are. So from here, what you're going to want to do is swipe to the right, and you'll see this screen. And what this basically is something that shows you the audio levels of each individual vocal section. So you can adjust this however you want. Me personally, since we're recording on the last, one thing I'd like to make note of real quick, and I'm going to swipe back to the right, is notice how each track has the M selected. You will not have that selected. The only reason I have that selected is because it mutes each track, and I'm only doing that for the sake of the video so the audio doesn't overlap with the application. So you will not have that selected unless you choose to have a specific track muted for whatever reason. So the last couple things I'm going to mention are this red timestamp up here. So if you move it, let's say up to here, what this does is while you're recording, it'll play whatever audio you're listening to up to this point, and then it'll reset back to the start. But the time bar is something that you could adjust throughout the recording process. So if you want to move it, let's say from here to then further back, you could do that as well. You could zoom out to see more of the whole project. So now for the fun part. So since we have the last audio track selected, we're going to zoom back in. We have our time bar set from here to here. We could start the recording process. So to start recording, what you're going to do is press the red button at the bottom of the screen. And this will basically record you as you are either singing or rapping, just like how it's doing right now. But it's only picking up the audio of me speaking. And then, as you can see there, the time bar that we have set resets back to the start point, which allows for people to do retakes if they'd like. And as I mentioned before, you could keep recording as many times as you like until you get the perfect take. Then once you're done and you have that perfect take, you just press the X. Boom. You have your first audio track right there. So from there, you could adjust the time bar at the top, move it further back so you have more space to record. And then what I like to do is I basically just punch in line for line. So since we're starting at the bottom, I'll go back up to the top row. or the row above the one that we just used, and I'll record the next line in this section. If you ever want to delete a specific segment that you recorded, all you do is press it. Then you have the trash button all the way to the left, and that deletes it. And then you can do as many retakes as possible by pressing record. But yeah, so from here, you could basically record the rest of the song going from line to line, like I mentioned before, or you could do whatever recording method you feel most comfortable with. What I'll do now before I conclude is I'll record a couple lines just so y'all can hear how it sounds.
Running out of love, running out of trust. I've been going through the motions, trying to find a way to make it up. Say your words can never hurt me, but they always seem to leave a cut. I've been looking for the answers, like why it's always us.
But yeah, those are how the lines I recorded ended up sounding. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video and that you learned a little more about how to record songs on BandLab. Thank you so much. Catch y'all next time.